Sup, y'all, we back. For those of you who missed it, there was a bit of controversy that happened over this past UFC event that happened, UFC 323. I would love to talk about Petr Yan's masterclass of a fight, becoming the new bantamweight champion for the second time now. But I'm actually here to discuss the flyweight fight that happened in the co-main event between Pantoja and Van. Or Van? Is it Von or Van? I'd say Van. For those of you who missed it, which, to be fair, you probably did if you went to the bathroom or went to go get a beer or went to go smoke during the fight, around half a minute into the very first round, Pantoja dislocated his elbow, trying to catch himself from a weird fall, and it was genuinely a freak accident. The fight was called off immediately. If you ask me, it should have been labeled a no contest, because quite frankly, how is this a win or a loss for either man? I don't really get it. Pantoja dislocates his elbow, and Joshua Van is declared the winner, the new flyweight undisputed champion of the UFC. In my opinion, that's just stupid. He should be interim champion until Pantoja comes back from the injury, which it looks like he's going to be coming back relatively soon. But fuck it, Joshua Van is the flyweight champion of the UFC, and I went into this fight as a fan of Van. I was really looking forward to see what he was going to do, especially with talks of him not having a game plan going into the fight with Pantoja, who has been on an absolute tear through the division. Genuinely, Pantoja was one of those fighters like Merab, where it was very unlikely anybody was going to be beating him, or it looked like no one was going to be beating them anytime soon. Now, granted, what happened to Merab, so it could have happened to Pantoja as well. We don't know. We'll never know until the rematch happens. Main problem of what happened with this fight isn't even the fact that it was over in under a minute with that freak accident. It was mostly because of Joshua Van's celebration afterwards. Look, I fully understand celebrating the win. You just became the UFC flyweight champion. This is everything that you've been working towards. This is the biggest moment in your career, in your, life. But, like, you didn't really do anything, Van. Van ran around the cage celebrating. Got on top of the cage to celebrate. Even his coach lifted him onto his shoulders and started running around the cage with him, which honestly just left a really poor taste in a lot of people's mouths, which Joshua Van has addressed this and basically just said, fuck them. But people are not mad that you celebrated you becoming champion. They're more so mad that you celebrated, especially to the degree that you did, over, let's be 100% clear here, a freak accident fluke win. This isn't even like a thing when Tom Aspinall got eye poked by Ciryl Gane, because at least there was like a full 4 minutes that went into the fight. Ciryl had bloodied up Tom's nose. Now granted, I did not think Tom was losing that fight or going to lose that fight. Even if you wanted to go by what happened before the accident happened, striking numbers showed that Pantoja landed 6 strikes and Van only landed 2. So it's not like Van was piecing him up crazy before the accident. Again, this was only half a minute into the fight. It also doesn't help that Pantoja has been on an 8-fight win streak. 5 title defenses, I'm pretty sure this would have been. He was a very dominant champion, a very dominant force in the flyweight division. So for you to win the title off of someone like that in the way that you did, and then to celebrate in the way that you did, it's just put a real poor taste in everybody's mouth, appropriately so. If you ask me, they should rematch them as soon as Pantoja's okay. Joshua Van is already declared and officially the UFC undisputed flyweight champion, so it's not like you could turn him into interim at this point. That would just be pointless. But in future cases, this should just be a no contest. There literally was no contest. Some other controversy that actually spawned from this as well was former UFC flyweight champion and legend Demetrius Johnson. Mighty Mouse, in his video reacting to the event and to the fight that happened, was in a bit of celebration that his streak and his record of title defenses and of a win streak at flyweight will never be touched. Let's be real, the most likely candidate who was going to do that would have been Pantoja, and with this, it is now broken. So some people have been giving Mighty Mouse a bit of shit for that. Me personally, I don't see it as bad. It's nowhere near as bad as Joshua Van celebrating. If we're all being 100% here, if any of us were in Demetrius Johnson's shoes, we would have been relieved that happened. We would have been relieved and fine if Pantoja lost in any kind of way, but it's not really the way that Pantoja lost that matters to DJ here. It's more so the fact that he did lose. Officially. I say officially because, again, he didn't really lose the fight, even if you were going off the stats beforehand. But this is my take on it. This is me reporting it to you guys. I'm trying to figure out a new way to record videos. I'm literally recording this on my fucking iPhone right now and using my wired headphones as a microphone. Long story short, my laptop during the summer just shit itself, and it just doesn't work anymore at all. For now, I'm posting on TikTok more regularly and trying to make these videos in a different way. Anyways, you guys let me know your take on this. You guys let me know your take on UFC 323. Crazy main event. All of the crazy knockouts that happened before that. Pantoja's injury and Vaughn's new status as flyweight champion. Do you see it as legitimate or illegitimate? Later.